Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our first Richard R. Green podcast called Let's Talk Our Bull. Introducing LP coming into the chat. You already know how it is. How did we come up with that name, LP?
So, how did we come up with that name? Let me tell you. We were just sitting around trying to think about as many things as we could have. From talking about our location, talking about the color, talking about our mascot. It was even to the point where we wanted to name ourselves like something about Wolverines. And it just went on and on and on. And we really could not think of what we wanted to talk about. But then we started thinking about the fact that we are right next to the bull, the charging bull. And so we kind of started thinking of ways and how we could take it. And then all of a sudden I was like, wait, why don't we just call it Let's Talk Our Bull? At first it was supposed to be Let's Talk Our Bullshit, but due to PR and stuff, but here we are.
That's right. As a matter of fact, we were sitting there for a good 20 minutes talking about green.
Right, for real.
I remember that too.
Mm-hmm.
We said
it was so torturous.
It really was, because I'm like, can we relate it to weed or something like that? But then once again, we couldn't. So this.
Right. Mm-hmm.
What would you do if you won $500 million?
Dylan, what would you do with $500 million?
I guess for me, if I had $500 million, I'd buy whole tons of mangas, anime accessories, probably the Xbox X, and a new house. That's what I would do.
That's good.
Okay. How about you? What would you do with $500 million?
With $500 million, I think I'd buy the school and probably a few comic book shops and a house. That's what I'd buy.
All right. That's pretty good.
Homer, I am curious. If you had $500 million right now, what would you do?
I would travel a lot. I would travel to the extent that Gina travels, if not more so.
How come?
Why not? If I have the money, I don't have to worry about anything. Grab Anthony and Renee and just travel. Every time we have a break, go somewhere. Photograph the world. And then I'd buy a nice watch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like a dream. What about you, Kiara?
Oh, geez, me? Honestly, I really want to check out Japan because I think that's a really I don't know. I really like the area. Plus anime, that's very nice too. But yeah, it looks expensive, but I'd visit. Yeah.
Nah, I definitely agree. I've always wanted to go because I said in the chat, but I was I've always wanted to go to Japan to experience a traditional Hanami festival. It's a cherry blossom festival, and it's just so pretty because then you see all the petals fall off the cherry blossom tree, and it's just such a lavish pink. And I just want to experience that with just a small group of friends with some wine, some accoutrement, all that stuff, and just live the most calmest life ever. That's literally one of my on the bucket list because
Japan.
I'm trying to see Japan right now. But that's on my bucket list. So yeah, but Japan looks lit though. It just has everything over there. Only thing though, just traffic over there. Not traffic in terms of cars, but in terms of people. Y'all ever seen photos of people walking in Japan? Oh God. Yeah. I can't even deal with Harlem. It's a mess.
What would you do if you won $500 million?
I would buy a couple project buildings and put a stereo inside of each of the rooms, each of the apartment buildings.
My son is different.
A week straight.
Yeah.
Just because I could. Then I don't know. I'll do something else. I'll rent out Six Flags, period, and have order rides to myself. I probably.
Well, I better be there. I better be there. What?
Who are you?
Excuse me?
It's gonna be me.
Before the million.
Oh yeah, invited.
Different,
No,
yo.
oh yeah, invited. It's only gonna be us though.
Hey, yo,
No,
say that
I'll
now,
just rent out
but-
Disney World. Done. 3 tier tickets. Let's go. I'll just rent out Disney World.
Nowhere.
You're good.
I'll just go renting out places.
I'll just rent out Disney World or Universal Studios so we can all just have fun.
Dylan, what would you do with $500 million?
I would move to California or Colorado because I have family and friends out there that I know. And Colorado because 1, it's super nice there. 2, my favorite hockey team is from there. So the Colorado Avalanche.
During the time of COVID, what's become your new obsession?
Bridgerton. I've been obsessing about Bridgerton.
Yes, tell me more, Gina.
I heard that's really good.
It's so good. I will tell you all to watch it, and then I'm going to deny because it has a lot of grown and sexy stuff in it. So I don't want you telling your parent, oh, my teacher told me to watch this, and then I'm going to get in trouble. But you should watch it anyway. Just don't watch it when your parents or little people are around.
Both Gina and Emily have been obsessing over this show.
I watched it. I started it Saturday night and there's 8 episodes. Each episode is an hour. I started it Saturday night at 10 and I finished it Sunday at 12. So that tells you what was going on.
Yeah.
I watched some anime this vacation, which I've never watched.
What is the anime?
Okay, so I watched a couple episodes of Parasite.
That's great. That's a great one.
I gave me nightmares, so I had to stop watching. And I watched Sword Academy something.
Sword Online?
Sword Art Online, yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
that's
That
amazing.
trash ass anime.
It literally is so trash.
It's so bad. I wouldn't recommend watching
The first 3 episodes, and then I quit. And then I watched something else that Netflix was like, oh, watch this. So I tried that. That wasn't good. So then I went to a kid and I was like, I need a movie. I just need to be in it. So I watched, The Silence something. It's about a little
Silent Voice?
Yes.
Yes, that's a great one.
Lovely. It was too long, I thought. It was 2+ hours. And I was like, okay. But I did really like it. I thought it was good. I don't think I'm an anime convert. I'm not that there yet. But here, and this may be really ignorant, but here's what I was shocked by. Why is it in English?
You can change it to Japanese.
Yeah.
I pressed play and I was ready for subtitles, right? I was okay, it's gonna be, and then it's in English, and I was what the hell? And then it's in English with English subtitles, and I'm what's going on? Am I dumb? I can't
manually change it.
Yeah, I think you have to manually change it because
Have you ever watched the Boondocks before?
Yeah,
I've seen part of it.
Come on, bro. That's
I already know you have Priscilla. Come on now. I know. Shoot, that's my show though.
Yeah, I could rewatch that. Oh my god, I could read. Matter of fact, I'm gonna watch it after this because I love the Boondocks.
You can't get tired of it. You
really can't.
Is Boondocks the kid that runs with his hands on behind his back? No, that's Naruto.
I didn't use it too.
Wow, Ben, you gotta watch it, man. You gotta watch it.
Say that again.
Oh god.
Whoa.
What is
Take a deep
rape
breath.
I hear the ear rape.
Dylan, we can't.
That scared me.
Yes.
The
boss has entered the arena.
I thought my son was playing some EDM for a second.
Homer, what are you obsessing about this week?
Well, funny you should ask. During this COVID experience, I've decided to shave like my father used to. And I switched from cartridge razors to double-edged safety razors. And I'm obsessing on how to do it without cutting up my face. Because damn, it's hard if you don't have your technique down. I told you it was silly.
Our next section is called Hot Topics. It's a roundtable discussion led by the students. And of course, this year's number one topic was COVID-19.
Actually gonna ask the fact, like, have y'all heard about that new COVID strain? Because that's a little worrisome, you know?
I heard
like,
we already got a case here.
Yeah, I think it was like in Saratoga Springs, which is like pretty far away. So that's why I was like, first thing you got to do, close off that whole entire county.
Wait, for what?
Nobody, for the second, the new mutation of COVID. It's like 70% more infectious or something. And everybody's like, and we was, and there was somebody on CNN that was like, we're not leaving our houses till 2027. And on Twitter, everybody started trending, Rihanna, where's the album? And everyone was like, you got it till 2027 to give us an album. Like, it's really not that hard. You're going to be at home for the next 6 years of your life, unfortunately. Like, and it's actually really crazy the fact that it came from London, because nobody's even talking about the fact that it came from London. Everybody's just like, oh my God, second strain. But I bet you if this came from any African country, if this came from any Asian country, everybody would be like, oh my God, look at those racial slurs. They are making so much COVID. Like, what the hell? Like, come on. And isn't it weird that it happened in London? So actually what I was wondering is the fact that like this new COVID strain, like 70% more infectious, how does that even work? Like we just got this vaccine for the first strain and now all of a sudden we have a new strain. How does the mutation even work? I just need somebody.
To be honest with you, I don't really know, but I do know someone who does. He's a science teacher from our school, of course. His name's Homer. You know, I'm gonna give him a call real quick. Hold on.
Hello? Ronnie, is that you?
Yo, what's up, Homer?
Hey, my G, what's going down?
Nothing but love, man. Nothing
Word.
but love.
What can I do you for, brother?
What's that called? Actually, me and Priscilla was actually thinking about a question. Hey, Priscilla, what was?
Oh yeah, so like I was just wondering, Homer, this whole new COVID strain, this mutation thing, like how does that even work?
Okay, so wow, that's a very good question, Priscilla. Fundamentally, the simple answer is mutations happen all the time. It's how things have evolved over billions of years and how we got to what we did. Mutations happen. So if we go back to the beginning, what is a mutation? Simply put, it's a change in DNA. It's a change in RNA. What causes mutations? Well, a lot of things cause mutations. Environmental factors cause mutations. A lot of things do. So a virus that's been out for a while, and this one seems to be out, I mean, depending on what literature you read, anywhere from 10 to a year, maybe even more than a year. It's been exposed to a lot of environmental changes. So it's not shocking that it's mutated. In fact, quite frankly, I thought it would have mutated earlier. As far as the 70% infectious rate, don't get too focused on that number yet. Okay, numbers with new things are flexible. Let's just put it that way. But it goes back to the same thing in April when we had they were predicting by the numbers they had in April how bad this virus would infect and how many people would be affected and how they would be affected. Well, they were off the mark by a lot because, these numbers are guidelines.
If you think about where in the world is still really struggling with coronavirus, right, or has had these new outbreaks, Asia, which is presumably where this all has begun, has really had not any other problems.
Right, exactly.
And I was saying to my dad, because my parents have been to China. I've never been to China, but, I've seen those same images that you have. So I'm like, how is it possible that they are so packed in and so many people everywhere that they haven't passed it along? And my dad was saying how a lot of those Asian countries are police states. So they have the ability to put you in jail if you don't have a mask on. Right? So they are really strict about everything. So it's held their society accountable so that they can't, like, that's why they haven't had another outbreak.
Right.
So it's like,
I don't even know. The last time I checked, it was like 18 million cases.
20
now. See,
20 million.
And so now you're kind of sitting here like, are we blaming somebody else in order to not take accountability for the fact that we just are not doing that well? Like, not even that well. We're just not doing good at all.
Well, I don't know about China, but I know in Japan, you know, when you're sick, you wear a mask regardless. So, like, if you look, it's like so, like they're used to wearing it. So I think when it was a mandatory for them to wear a mask, like, oh, all right, because it's not something they do it regularly, right? Mm-hmm. But in America, not everybody wears a mask all the time. The only people you see constantly wearing a mask are like surgeons and doctors and nurses. The average person is not going to wear a mask, even if they are sick. So when you tell them to wear a mask, all of a sudden they come up with all different types of conspiracy theories and anything so that they don't have to do it because they're not used to it. I think that's the whole.
In New York City, we saw it first. Well, not first, but we were probably the hardest hit.
It hit hard for us.
It hit very hard for us back in March, April, May. And Kalel was actually in Georgia, right? And he was telling me that it was a very different experience down there. Kalel, can you?
Yeah, down here, like, masks aren't as mandatory. Like, honestly, it's like even during the summer, the pool was open. Like, you didn't even need to stay near people. Like, be away, like 6 feet away. Like, you could just go right up to someone, honestly, at the pool. And it wasn't like even socially distanced. It was just like really different.
Plus, it's also the money thing. So, like, when New York shut down everything, we lost money, right? The government lost money. That's just fact. So when you shut down more stuff, you lose money. But if you keep more stuff open, you gain more money. It's like that, just simple economics. So you keep everything open, you get money, and then whatever happens, but you're still making bread. So it don't matter.
I don't know if you've asked like your husband or if you've asked your mom, like, how was that whole vaccine like experience?
Well, my mom told me, like, I remember, like, she took a whole video and everything of her getting vaccinated. It was really adorable. But she told me that, like, I think she started to get a headache, like, an hour later after she got vaccinated. Because, like, there's side effects. That's normal. Like, when you get the flu shot, normally, like, your skin, like, swells up because your body's getting used to, like, the vaccine or something like that. Like, there's always going to be, like, side effects or something like that. But that was her side effect. Some people actually... and I know, like, from social media, have like gone through different things because of the vaccine after they took it.
Please stay inside. Like, stop spreading your little nasty American germs in every other country, because I feel like that's going to be the reason why it keeps on going up and down, up and down, up and down. Because everybody's just like, hey, oh my God, you're from Asia. Like, do not travel here. But I'm going to send Miss Becky over to Wuhan because she wants to go to the Chinese festival for New Year's this January. Like, don't do that. It's so dumb. Like, let the countries that are thriving because they're not being an idiot thrive. Let's figure stuff out here, because if we don't, it keeps on going up. Literally, people are changing like their statistics to, like Gino was talking about before in the chat. Now they're making the whole like, oh, you can still go to school at 9% cases citywide. Like, when did we all of a sudden start changing our plans? Like, before it was, okay, 3%, after 3%, that's it. As a society and as people that just want to progress, we might need that whole community aspect, because we don't live alone. We really don't live alone in this world.
I'm Denise. I'm a freshman, and welcome.
I'm Elizabeth. I'm also a freshman, and this is Final Thoughts. If the world was a school, who would you put in detention?
I would put most of the human race in detention.
As you should.
And this is because humans are just weird, and I think they deserve to fix up themselves and fix up the world.
You know what I think?
What do you think?
At this point, I think everyone in America should just be suspended. Like, no need for detention at this point. They should just be expelled. expelled. Like, I feel like America has gone to the point where there's no turning back anymore. Like there's no hope left. Especially with the event that happened the other day. I'm like, okay, how much more childish can America get?
The capital, the government.
Yeah, the way of thinking.
I think people in general in America, it's really complicated and kind of messed up because there's like obviously so many like thoughts and different thoughts of people, but the way people execute these thoughts, some execute it in a way where it's not harmful at all to anyone, it's peaceful and they want their opinions to matter, where others do it by force and not in a great manner.
But another question, since we figured out who's in detention, who would you put in honor?
That's a great question.
It really is.
Who are we going to choose out of the human species?
Out of the so many options, who are we going to choose?
Our soon-to-be vice president, Kamala Harris.
We could. First female vice president and woman of color.
Yeah, I think she's going to do great things.
Maybe the honor rolls could be students. The students who are going to school, who are doing well in school during this awful period in time, who are speaking out against horrible people in government, corrupt people in government, even though they are so young. They deserve to be an honor roll. They deserve to be listened to.
Yeah. And when you said that, like people on TikTok, like Gen Zs and younger people, they inspire like a bunch of people.
Because I feel like in this time, a lot of kids aren't listened to because they're kids. You don't listen to kids. They don't know what's going on, but sometimes they know.
Well,
but
come
you know
rant with us if you guys...
Wait, you go. What's not depressing is our new podcast, Untamed. That's not depressing. So you should go. Yeah, you should go like watch at in our Instagram, Untamed_podcast, for very entertaining, fun videos with two kids in quarantine who don't have anything else to do.
Come rant with us if you want to be a part of it, especially for the ladies who think they need some advice, support, and just something to listen to while they're at home, maybe going through stuff. You can also be a part of it, ask for questions to be answered, topics. Feel free to contact us on Instagram, DMs.
Untamed_podcast is our Instagram handle, and the podcast is Untamed Podcast. You can find us on YouTube too, if you would like, at Untamed Podcast.
Hey, yo, Priscilla. Guess what I'm about to go watch?
What, Boondocks?
You already know.
Oh my god, this man.
Yeah, once I'm done with work, I'm actually gonna go watch some because I have not watched it in a minute. It's your girl LP, and until next time, peace out.
Stay healthy, stay smooth, stay beautiful.